Look it. I know. Okay, you can do the podcast. I'm just going to pet the cat.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome to another episode of Mundelein Minute. It is
17th.
the 17th
We're a week
of
late.
August. We're a week behind schedule. Oh, sorry. There's a cat right here. I don't know. Can you see it on camera?
We're both
Yes,
just
there's
petting.
a little kitty. This is Mundy Munch, and he's joining us for the podcast today. Usually they run around in the next room over, creating quite a mess. But
He
this
seems
time
more chill.
Yeah, he's more chill this week.
Well, you got him neutered. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why.
Yep.
Sorry, buddy.
Still clawed, but
Sorry,
deballed.
buddy.
Sorry.
I don't think you can say that.
Oh,
You might need to edit that out.
do I have to bleep? Do I bleep it?
Are we going to have like a TV-14 rating on our YouTube?
Probably.
Not
So
suitable for kids' audiences.
So my name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the village of Mundelein.
I'm not here today because I'm just petting Mundy.
She's just petting the cat,
Hi.
but usually this is Kara Lambert, and she's usually a trustee when she's not just petting the kitty cat.
He's
This
such
is
a good boy.
my disclaimer. It's my house, my cameras, my microphone. No taxpayer dollars were used in the creation or distribution of the podcast. And now, on to the main show. Are you really going to be here, or
I don't
should
know.
I
I'm
just
just
run
going to
through
let
it
you
all?
talk. It's so relaxing.
Isn't it? He's a good kitty.
I mean, we have 2 dogs, and they're nowhere near as like soft as this kitty is.
No.
What is he? He's a ragdoll Siamese.
Yep. Ragdoll Siamese mix.
Oh my god, and he's so cute.
They were our adoption during the pandemic.
Everyone needed an adoption during the pandemic.
We all need emotional support animals. For
Don't
real.
show me your claws.
They work.
Oh, I'm gonna have cat hair all over me, and Russ is gonna have a.
Your dogs are going to love you.
Okay. Let's
Okay, so let's get into it. This was the village board meeting on August 9th. And we went through the first couple of items rather quickly: the call to order, attendance, pledge of allegiance, approval of minutes, public commentary. Was there a public commentary? I do not believe there was, because this would have been the first one with the new time limit.
There was
and
not.
We did not go into that.
There was not.
We saw a video with the Mundelein Grand Prix highlight video. So
Was
this
so
is kind of cool. Just kind of recapping what happened on the 19th for the Mundelein Grand Prix, the bike race.
And we recognize Taylor.
And
for doing
Taylor,
such a good job.
like twice, 3 times.
I mean, he deserves all of
All
it,
of the
so.
applause.
Yeah.
Yes. Good job, Taylor.
I hope he's watching.
Yes. There were no public hearings. So moving into the mayor's report, we had to do some work with some liquor licenses, changing a liquor license for Hits Pizza, for the corporation that does business as
Hits Pizza.
Hits Pizza. They gave up their Class A1 to get a VG liquor license. The only difference there is being able to have gaming. And then there was a motion for gaming terminals at Hits Pizza.
And I messed up.
Go on.
I got caught up.
We kind of get going where like you just vote, right? Like you just go.
And I was like caught up, and I voted yes on accident. And right after I went, oh, because I've typically always voted no on gaming. So I just got caught up and
Sure. So
screwed up.
So let's look over this real quick.
Yeah.
So Trustee Russell was absent at that time. He came into the meeting a little bit later, just in time to make the world's longest motion. We'll get to that. But
Yeah.
so
We should have cut him off at 5 minutes.
we should have, right? So Kirsten was a little bit late, and that kind of changes how votes go.
Yeah.
And when somebody's absent. So this passed with Kara's vote 4-1. If Kara had voted no, 3-2, it would have been up to the mayor to decide how to vote, because the mayor doesn't necessarily vote if there's a tie. The
Right.
mayor votes if the vote would change the outcome of the motion. So 3-2.
So I really screwed it up. Is what you're saying. Thanks, Eric.
No, the mayor, knowing his position, would have still voted to approve it.
Yeah.
And allowed the gaming to continue.
Right.
So yeah, you messed up. It's a moral thing for you.
Yeah.
But the motion still would have passed either way.
It just irritated me in afterwards.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Luckily, a week later, I've come to terms that I messed up. It's fine.
Hey, it happens, right?
Yeah.
So we also gave a Class VG liquor license to Rosati's Pizza here in Mundelein. I was looking for an address, but it doesn't. Oh, it's on West Route 60, but
By Target.
we didn't. Yeah, by Target, but we didn't give them gaming terminals. They just
Right.
got the VG
So
license, so they could go that route.
Let me just take away something from this
Mm-hmm.
very quick. Does this mean they're going to open back up soon?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's why I was looking for the address. I was like, the same place, right?
same place. Yeah. I think new ownership, because I have
That's-
heard
yes.
rumors on the street that there was like an ownership change before like mids lockdown, and then they were like waiting for things to loosen up before they could open up.
Right.
It's cool.
So then we.
By the way, they're gonna crush it there with 300 houses going across the
Oh my
street.
gosh!
or whatever
Right
it
across
is.
the street.
Yeah.
It's a good place.
Yeah.
Good timing. Decreasing the number of liquor licenses from 6 to 5 for El Barrio. And what else did we do? Oh, Jawa.
Yeah.
So this is a resolution approving certificate of member municipality.
So we belong to Jawa, which
Yeah.
we get our water from the lake. That's
And every
what
year
that
we have to
means.
certify that there's some rules that we'll follow.
Yes.
And that's basically what we're doing here.
And I'm grateful that we get our water from the lake. We don't have to rely on like the county or anyone else. We control our own water.
As a side note, we do have water storage,
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah.
has helped us dramatically from the water towers to different reservoirs when Jawa had some issues a couple months back.
No, that was a year
Last
ago.
year?
Yeah, it was a year ago. So like other municipalities weren't as lucky as us, and they had to go under a boil order and things
Right.
like that, and we were just living our life
We just cut off the flow from Jawa,
and used
went
your
over
towers.
to our towers and our reservoirs, and we had a couple of days worth of water supply to maintain while they solved the problem that they need to solve. And when it was clean, we flipped the switch and opened that gateway and back at it.
Did you tour like our water facilities when you got elected?
I have not.
You should go do it. It's cool. It's really informative. And so I got to go to Jawa this month too. That is also a really cool facility.
Oh, I bet.
To go and they'll like walk you through that facility. It's really, really state of the art considering it was like built in the 80s, and other places around the world have mimicked the Jawa facility.
Oh,
And
that's
It's
awesome.
like in Lake Bluff in that area. So
Yeah, I missed out on, Jawa and then Public Works.
you haven't gone to
And
the poopy plant?
I have not gone to the poopy
Come
plant.
on, man. We got to get
and
that changed.
I think I had my schedule changed for work when you and I first got elected.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came up for the new people that just joined the board, I was sick or out of town, I think. And then when the new facility opened, I was sick. Like, I've just missed it. Like, every time something's come up.
Get
So
your life together, man.
I will have to get my life together. Thank you for that advice.
Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
That's my other podcast, Deep Thoughts with Kara.
So, negotiating team appointment. We appointed trustees Ross and Wilson to the Village Hall Subdivision negotiating team.
Interesting.
Interesting. And then moved into trustee reports. There's kids upstairs dropping things. So, community and economic development.
This was you, or was Kirsten back
This
then?
was me for the first one. So this was bridge industrial development. So this is going to be, if all things work out, this is the beginning steps to a ginormous 300,000 square foot
light industrial complex.
light industrial. Yeah, it's a ginormous building that will be behind Garden Fresh Shopping Center area there, with an interest off of
683.
6083 and off 45.
Yep.
And
So why are we building light industrial? Why would we do that? First of all, private sector asked for it. Second of all, I think our occupancy rates were like in the high 90s for light industrial, and there was a demand
Correct.
for it. So
and this is going to be a larger space than what we can offer today.
yes,
Yep. So this works well.
yeah, this is
I
what we
had
want,
some-
right? It's generating revenue without
Yep.
increasing people. So this is good.
Absolutely.
I
I had
don't-
some concerns over the way the cars were coming in and out. I don't like that they're going to have to kind of go through the Garden Fresh parking lot to get in and out.
But basically, we were told that IDOT is
Controlling.
there. You go. And so that was what the reason. There's a reason for it, and their traffic guy gave you the answer. And although it's like not ideal, there is a method behind the madness, and they kind of are. Their hands are tied in doing it this way.
Right.
So
Yeah, you'll kind of notice if you're a longtime listener of this podcast that IDOT seems to be a major theme, and they can be frustrated at times. Just kidding, IDOT, we love you. Please approve our plans.
it's not our plans; it's a developer's
That's true.
plans.
It's
Please work
developers.
nicely
Just
with developers.
Please work nicely. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Good
quick.
life advice in general. Just work nicely.
Quickly, yes. So next up was the Sundance Saloon special use permit. So outdoor live entertainment, and
Should we go through the background?
Yeah. So we had
There's some history here that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, before we even brought the motions forward, we had a discussion, and we allowed There was two major sides of this. It was Del Webb and their board, their HOA, and then there was Sundance, of course. And we had an opportunity to hear from both of them prior to even making a motion. Since staff gave us, not to lead the board, but just to give us information here, was either to draft an ordinance denying the special use permit or drafting an ordinance approving it, with what conditions and what that would look like. So before we even made those motions, we heard from both of the parties that have been involved, and they came to a resolution. They worked,
which is what we asked them to do.
Correct.
6 months ago.
Correct. They worked with village staff. They got a sound study done.
Yeah.
By, and I actually looked this up, a doctor of audiology named Dr. Thunder, which is just kind of
I love
amazing.
That. What a good career choice.
Right.
Yeah.
So Dr. Thunder created a whole packet of information that can be found in the board packet. And one of the things that I noted was, when they came before us, Mr. Carlson had, from Sundance, had some screenshots of different noise levels that he had taken with an iPhone or an iPad or some device. And that's great. That can be helpful, but it doesn't tell you what the ambient sound level is in those areas. And this audiology report took that into consideration and said, okay, well, this is what the base level is. And with the music, this is what you can expect to hear. This many decibels more. In most cases, it was 3 to 4. It was not a large number. So both parties came to us with an agreement.
Which is what we asked them. Let me repeat that again.
Yes.
What we asked of them.
Yes. And
they did it and props to both sides and the village administrator, because the first time we heard from them, it was not this way. When we heard from them 6 months ago, it was heated and both sides were agitated and everyone was
there were some
mad.
tempers, yep.
And there was not. I don't know, they hugged after this was done, both sides, and I think maybe a friendship has been formed between the three of them, but it was like exactly what you wanted to see.
Sure. And if anything, just a good working relationship.
Exactly. Yep. When the first time they were there, Kirsten had asked them to like work together for a solution.
Yeah.
And they did that, and it was just good to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we did authorize the staff to draft an ordinance approving the special use permit. And there's a lot of restrictions. I'm not going to go through each one. Pyrotechnics are prohibited. There's levels of
noise,
how many decibels,
and what time, and
right, at how many feet from the stage, and different days of the week, and what those times are per day, each day. And then they're going to get a tent with some acoustic panels, and then that will change a little bit of what's allowed on
which
what
did you
days.
catch that they went to Broken Oar together?
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's awesome.
Right, to see that it worked.
Yeah.
Which is right next to a residential development.
Correct.
Right. So that motion was made. That was Trustee Russell's long motion.
Yeah.
Which thankfully the village attorney said we could just say as
as noted.
as noted in the agenda, because it's literally 2.5 pages, 3 pages worth.
Yeah.
So
and it passed unanimously.
It did pass unanimously. Do you want to say anything else about that?
I don't know. Do you?
So yeah,
I guess we could.
I
mean, this is our podcast.
It's our podcast, and I don't have to agree with everything. That's why we're elected. The mayor came out rather harshly against Sundance, with a wagging finger, if you will, and threatened them that they'll be pulled back in front of the board. And
well, not before he did that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know I was going to talk about the hypothetical. That's what got me
about
Pulte having issues with this.
Oh, about Pulte, right? We can't do a sound report, an engineering report
for houses that aren't without knowing about what's going to happen at Pulte, which for those that are new, there's a development that's going across the street from Target
and is nearby, but not anywhere more
close.
Nearby than Del Webb is. So
I got a little heated, and I was like, this is silly. Like, we're going to stop a business from carrying on for potential residents in the future, hypothetically. Anyways.
And then after it passed,
yeah,
the mayor went into his perceived view of Sundance's behavior in the past. And that aside, again, we the village, along with the HOA and Sundance, came to an agreement, which is what was asked for and what was proposed. And everybody agreed. Yet the mayor is still wagging his finger, threatening this business that if it's 1 minute after
10 o'clock,
the cutoff time, they're going to pull him back in front of the board. And
he controls the agenda.
And he controls the agenda. I would like to point out that while the mayor can control the agenda, so can the trustees. It takes 4 trustees, and we can put anything we want on the agenda. And the mayor can bring anything he wants in front of the board, but he requires the trustees
to vote on it.
And the mayor only votes if his vote will change the outcome, like a tie.
Yeah.
So sure, bring it in front of the board. But the 6 trustees that voted on this voted on it unanimously and supported this business. And personally, I don't support the mayor's comments.
I just want to go to Sundance and listen to music now.
Right.
So like anecdotally, my mom lives in like behind Maple Hill. Right. And she texted me this weekend and was like, "Does Sundance have a concert?" And she was sitting out on the porch, and I was like, "Yeah, I think so. I don't know." And like about 10 minutes later, she was like, "Oh, never mind. I can't hear him anymore." I was like, "Okay, you're fine." So I think they're just like following, what they're supposed to be doing. They're doing the right thing, and they have been doing the right thing since.
Yeah, since the agreement was started.
Yeah.
So, right.
Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, so moving on. Public Works Committee, there was no motions and no report. Finance Committee. Hey, that's me again.
Hey, yo.
So we only had the governing body bill approval, and it was an extremely low number of $424,843.67.
Like half of what it usually is,
if not a third.
Yeah, what is going on?
Just as we begin the fiscal year,
there's a lot because you're like reading.
Yeah, and now we're kind of into a lull, and then there'll be another where it comes up.
Yeah.
Public Safety Committee.
That's me. Hey. I had no motions or no reports, but neither chief had much to report. Chief Monahan talked about National Night Out. It was a really fun night. It was good to be out in the community again. But that was it. School is back in session, so make sure that we're driving safely and aware of school buses and kids walking to school and all that fun stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
That's your PSA for today.
All right.
Oh, that rhymes.
And I think the blood drive is September 3rd.
Maybe. He didn't talk about it last time, but he'll talk about it this
time. No, but I saw it on something recently.
I believe you.
Okay.
Go donate the bloods.
Donate all of the blood. Okay, just a pint. Building Committee. So Long Grove Code Enforcement Intergovernmental Agreement is fancy words for...
Sharing services.
Sharing services. We've done this before with Long Grove.
We talked about it last time where we were sharing planning services. This is an extension of this.
Yep. So this is the beginning steps of enforcement for code enforcement.
Good stuff.
Yep. Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. There was no motions, no report, nothing under other. Under the omnibus vote list, the items that get all voted on all at once, we had the purchase order for our fiscal year audit. We had some unbudgeted HVAC repairs at the police department. And the last one was the execution of the services agreement for the fire department with fire recovery. So we've talked about this recently about the
billing for fire services.
Fire services billing to insurance. And this is just allowing the village administrator to sign that contract.
Yeah.
So after that, there was nothing from the administrator, attorney, clerk. That's pretty standard. We did go into executive session to talk about personnel and what was the other one? Minutes.
Approval of minutes. Yeah.
Minutes.
Yeah.
So we always approve our minutes in the next executive session. That didn't happen for a long time.
No, but we're caught up now.
We're caught up, so we're handling that as they come up. Yeah. And then we talked about some personnel issues, and leaving executive session, we actually had action after, which is pretty rare. Pretty rare for us.
I know.
But we approved a collective bargaining agreement, a contract with MAP, which is the police union.
Yep. So they have a contract again?
Local 687, and they had ratified the contract, and we approved it as well.
Yep.
So now it'll be signed, and it's a 2-year contract. And there's our kitty again.
Hey, friend. So that was it. Light meeting.
It was a pretty light meeting. I want to say that we were done with the business part of it before 8, and the executive session took probably equally as long.
Yeah,
Just there was
probably. Just
items to talk
discussions.
about.
Yeah,
Yep.
just discussion. So it was fine. That's it.
Anything else going on?
Farmers Market Friday.
Farmers market, open mic.
Yep. Go to Sundance. Check out some concerts.
That's right.
That's it.
Pet your kitty for emotional support.
Seriously, I'm gonna take him home with me. But we'll be back next week because there's board meeting Monday since
There
we're
is.
behind a week.
Well, the podcast is behind a week. The board meeting's
Well, the
not.
board meetings aren't, but we are.
Sorry.
Eric is a busy man flying all over the world.
It's just my schedule with work has just been a little sporadic.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I hope everyone has a good week. I hope everyone that's back to school is having a good back to school week. So
Yes.
yeah. I don't know if you saw, but on Facebook, Mundelein High School did a pep rally like the first day back of school. And we happened to be driving by, and I was like almost emotional with like so happy I was to see school back in session. It was just awesome. And my son was like, "Mom, what is that?" So I think it's so good to see kids back in school.
And my son's there.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah. All right. We will see you next week.
All right.
Enjoy
have a
your
good
week. Bye.